Hi, parents and students. I hope you had a good weekend. We have a short week coming up because it is Tuesday, and yesterday we had our staff development day. So let's go get started on what we've got going on this week. We have our school guidance counselor lessons in here. Remember to do check-ins Tuesday to Friday. Starting with reading. Well, our Tuesday activity is actually going to be replaced by Monday's activity. It is a problem-solving hyperdoc where students are adding and subtracting, and then they're using their own knowledge to generate and solve their own problems. So make sure they're only doing that today. Starting on Wednesday in reading, they're going to watch mini lesson 11. This is focusing on why authors are using exclamation points, question marks, words in capital letters, and bold print to express their meaning, to have expression in their writing. On Thursday, they're going to be looking at the read aloud for chapters 5, 6, 7, and 8 during the Magic Treehouse read aloud that Miss Leon has been doing for us. On Friday, mini lesson 12, they are going to be looking at the ending and how authors wrap up their stories. If we go into our independent work, students are looking at their own books and finding where the author is using those special times and pointing out where they're using bold words, where they're using capitals, what are they trying to convey. The graded work that students will be doing is going to find Frog and Toad. It will be in mini lesson 12 that they are reading, and they're going to talk about 2 questions. Why did the author end the book this way, and what lesson am I supposed to learn? They really need to have watched mini lesson 12 first so they understand what's happening in the Frog and Toad book, and then they can answer those questions. For writing this week, we are writing nomination letters. So you make sure to watch session 11 and find out what a nomination letter is. And then they have an anchor chart and a writing checklist to look back at. On Thursday, session 12 is referring to this nomination letter as an example. Once they have that lesson watched, they'll be able to write their own nomination letter because they have the knowledge. Make sure they have watched both sessions before writing their own nomination letter, uploading it to Seesaw for a grade. We have grammar talks for word study this week. The only thing that is different is that we do have an activity that will go at the end of this, logging on to Seesaw and completing the simple sentences activity. This is for a grade, so be sure to complete it. In math this week, we are starting personal financial literacy. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to defining the words deposit and withdrawal, talking about how saving is an alternative to spending. So first they need to watch this video talking about the vocabulary words. We have an anchor chart to refer back to. And then on Thursday, they're going to be looking at some word problems using those vocab words. On Friday, for their independent practice, they're going to be using quizzes, again, solving problems using those words deposit versus withdrawal. They do have an optional withdrawal and deposit page on Seesaw to complete. Their graded activities that they're reading through 4 characters and deciding if they're depositing money or withdrawing money, but they need to make sure to explain why they think the character is depositing or withdrawing money. And as always, optional 5 to 10 extra minutes of extra math each day, great activity. For science, we are starting the butterfly life cycle, insect life cycle. Make sure they're logging on to STEMscopes to be watching their science rocks, their vocab words, watching this video to explore how the life cycle works for those insects, and then also logging on to BrainPop and watching the metamorphosis. On Seesaw, they're going to be completing a KWL, which is what they know, what they want to know, and what they want to learn about the insect life cycle. Turning that in for a grade. For social studies, they are going to continue talking about modifications to land. They're going to be reading through some scenarios and talking about the positives and negatives, looking at drilling for oil and mining, also farming and lumbering. What are the positives and negatives? On Friday, they're going to read their own scenario. It's going to talk about construction, and students are going to be replying to tell us 2 positives and 2 negatives for construction. Again, they need to have the positives and the negatives to receive full credit for that activity, uploading that to Seesaw. And then down below, we have our specials activities for music, art, and PE. As always, please reach out to your teacher if you have any questions. I hope you have a good short week. Bye, guys.